I used to be a high school teacher. Here's the single biggest reason why I decided that I couldn't be a teacher anymore.
It is absolutely astonishing and scary how your kids are 14, 15 years old and still do not have the proper reading skills.
A first grade little girl just slapped my third grade student, and when the line supervisors were disciplining her, she said, "Don't worry, my mom must come up here and take care of it." No wonder why teachers are quitting.
Okay, so today we're going to be taking a look at why so many teachers have been quitting recently. Now, there's many reasons why this is happening, but I think the biggest problem are the children they're supposed to teach. Surprising that these kids have so many issues in the classroom when all they've had was an iPad stuck in their face from the moment they were born. You didn't think that this would cause any problems? We have a ton of stuff to go over today, along with comments from you guys from previous videos. So if you want to be featured on a future video, leave in the comments down below. But let's just jump right into it.
I used to be a high school teacher. Here's the single biggest reason why I decided that I couldn't be a teacher anymore. There is no accountability in schools. There's no accountability for students. There's no accountability for teachers, and there's no accountability for parents. Students can pretty much do whatever they want. They got the freedom to be late to class every single day. They can roam around the hallways every single day and not go to class. They cannot do their assignments. They can be disruptive, and there's no repercussions. There's no accountability. And the worst part is it's not really even the student's fault. You can't really blame them because the system is not holding them accountable. Now, there are some schools that have great administration and they're trying super hard and they're doing many things to improve the system and to make it better, but most schools, there's no accountability going on. I think you would be shocked if you were to go into school and see what was happening. And if you try to talk to parents, there's a very select few that actually help with it, but the vast majority, they either don't know what to do or they're just completely helpless and they enable it. And there's so many bad teachers that shouldn't be teaching, but there's nobody that's holding them accountable or doing anything about it. And this is coming from a teacher that had great classroom management. Yes, I had some disruptive kids that were hard to keep them focused, and that's normal. But the vast majority of the issues that I experienced was because there's no accountability. There's nothing you can do. You can try to hold students accountable, and they're shocked by it because they're not used to it. That's just one of the reasons why I left.
And I think this goes well with a comment from you guys. Teaching high school was a nightmare. Students absolutely cannot stay off their phones. If they're reprimanded for anything, the parents blame the teacher. A student threatened to kill me and only got a 2-day suspension. I was asked to try to be patient. The mother was fuming and blamed me for upsetting her son for no reason. If you're not going to let your kid be held accountable and just do whatever they want, what's the point of becoming a parent in the first place? They just expect everything about life to be taught in the classroom, and as soon as they get back home, there's no rules, there's no screen time limitations, and then you're surprised that these kids could barely pay attention or even read.
This message is for the parents who don't know what's going on in the classroom as it relates to kids not being able to interact with what their teachers are trying to engage them with. There is this thing that teachers are talking about that has to do with, let me just give you an example. Okay, so I'm standing in front of the classroom and I say, all right, guys, students, scholars, whatever it is the teacher calls your kids, take out your yellow notebooks, turn to page 14, and the kids just stare. Like they don't even move. Some of them don't even move. Some of them start moving around. It's like, I know I'm supposed to be doing something because she's still staring at me, but I don't know. And then they raise their hand and say, do you want us to take out our notebooks? That's a real question. Yes. Okay. So then some of the other students start taking out their notebooks while the others are still just staring. And then when they take out their notebooks, someone else says, what page? What page do you want us to turn to? Okay, turn to page 17. So then some of them start taking out their notebooks and turning pages. By now, some of the ones who are still staring are now like trying to reach in to take their notebooks out.
Okay, so at least for me, I am not a patient person, so I really don't know how these teachers deal with this. I would lose it. We could go over to the comment section. Too much technology and too little parenting. Something is wrong deeply. They all just stare. It's so weird. Parents don't even talk to their children anymore. I asked you guys in an older video, do you know a teacher dealing with these same problems? I feel so bad for my niece's teacher. Her parents gave her her first tablet when she was 6 months old. She was on it minimum 6 hours a day. She wants to play with toys and be outside, but her parents say no, it's too much work to watch and play with you, here's the tablet. They also don't really correct her bad behavior, and she's been sent home so many times from preschool from acting out. That's probably only going to get worse as well. I've been an educator for 20 plus years. My biggest issue with today's student body is the poor social skills. The students are rude, crude, and entitled. I'm an elementary art teacher, and I could tell you a lot has changed since I started in 2009. Students have a really hard time staying focused, and little upsets can lead to epic meltdowns. meltdowns. I wish we could go back to suspending students to get them out of the classroom for behavioral issues. Now you can't suspend the students except for extreme reasons. I'm a high school janitor and the teachers have told me how bad it's getting. Every year it gets worse. On the janitor end, the kids are so messy and gross, zero manners and respect for the school. The amount of comments, clips, and examples of this is just unreal.
This video literally hurts my soul to make, but this is the reality of the situation of teaching in America. I teach high school 9th grade English. I read a story with the kids today, The Scarlet Ibis. If you know, you know. And I give them some reading questions. On the back, they have to write a paragraph analyzing the symbolism in the story. They do the questions on the front, and then they get to the back of the paper. Do I have to do this? My answer was no, I put it there for fun.
I told my 9th graders to recreate a flag and map of a Latin American country today, and they responded, do we have to color it? You're upset to color with over 50,000 likes? And we got another comment from you guys right here. My state just held back 7,000 students in 3rd grade for not being able to read. Well, at least they're holding them back instead of just pushing them through the system. But we got another clip up on screen right here. Former teachers, what's your new job and how did you make the switch? Because that's how many teachers are leaving the profession. I'm now an actuary, make around $105,000 a year, and my salary doubled my first year compared to being a teacher. Used to be a middle school teacher, now I'm a Montessori guide. Left the classroom to teach at a correctional facility. The behaviors are surprisingly less extreme. My 7th grade history teacher is now a flight attendant living her best life. There were over 5,000 comments on this video. And now we'll get into this section of the video, the elephant in the room, all of the issues with AI in the classroom.
What happened at school today?
I witnessed firsthand what we're up against as high school teachers, like when it comes to AI and ChatGPT and all that. They were taking a quiz on their Chromebooks, and so I was like monitoring their screens on my computer. This one kid had finished his quiz and he was working on work from another class, and I'm watching him, and he copy and paste whatever short answer prompt there was for this class assignment, puts it in a Gemini, it spits out an answer, and then he says, rewrite this, including spelling mistakes and grammatical errors commonly made by high schoolers.
Nuh-uh.
And it spit out, you know, a whole new answer or whatever, and then he pasted it onto the assignment, and he was done.
As a high school teacher, I've gone back to paper and pencil. I'm done with computers. I don't send homework home anymore. I need to see them doing the work with their brains. Because even if it was paper and pencil, you bring it home, use ChatGPT or one of the others, and just write down whatever it spits out. AI is limiting critical thinking skills, and it's very interesting seeing this type of data correlating to the time of year.
This is from OpenAI. It is ChatGPT usage. You will notice that on June 6th, it drops off to 25% of the total output. And you see these dips? Those are weekends. What happened on June 6th? Oh yeah, summer break. And why would usage drop on weekends? Yeah, because students aren't in class. So it's still high because they're still taking school and they have homework, but it is not as high as during the week when they have active class. Our next generation, the one that is being educated right now and abusing ChatGPT to get that education, is so cooked.
Relying on ChatGPT during developmental years is going to be devastating. Then there was an interesting comment here. Most office jobs are also Monday to Friday. It's not just students using it daily, it's workers too. There was a reply to this, do office jobs stop once June starts? Another comment saying, yes, people go on vacation in the summer. For the entirety of the summer, every year? What type of job is he talking about? Because I don't see that often. ChatGPT also gives me so many wrong answers in biology and chemistry. They used to warn us about not trusting Wikipedia, but ChatGPT is even worse. You really have to know the material to catch the wrong details too. This is going to be devastating to current students' futures, and there were a good amount of comments just angry saying, okay boomer, trying to defend everybody using AI currently.
Do you honestly believe that these teachers are quitting their job 2 weeks into the school year because they're not getting paid enough, or because the politics that they're dealing with from outside of the classroom is too much to handle? No, that's not the reason. The reason why they're quitting is because these kids are mean and they're making the classroom a war zone, and they're getting zero support from parents at home and from admin on their campus. This 100% stems from the stuff that they have to deal with day in and day out from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. inside their classroom. It's the stuff that you have to deal with inside your classroom that makes you burn out and makes you never want to come back. I understand that so many of our kids are dealing with rough lives at home and are dealing with trauma, dealing with mental illness, dealing with learning disabilities. All of those things make it difficult to thrive in school, and I understand that. But the problem is that all of those things are no reason to treat other human beings like a piece of garbage.
I totally agree. I've worked for 18 years at a school office. You should see the parents. We also get cursed at and disrespected. It starts at home. And getting gaslit by the administration, being told the low scores are their fault. Kids rule at home nowadays. Parents never believe the teacher and blame everything on the teacher versus holding the child accountable. I'm on year 24. I really don't know how some people do it. I'd never be a teacher in the first place, but especially in today's world. But at the beginning of the last clip, she was talking about teachers' pay, so we could take a look at an example of how much this person's getting paid.
My name is Mr. Jan. I'm a high school history teacher, and today I'm going to tell you exactly how much money I make. Before we get into the thick of it, I want to get two things across. We get paid for 10 months of work spread out across 12 months. I think I get paid a decent amount for 10 months of work. However, because they spread that across those 2 additional months, it does seem like a little bit less. To start off, I have a base salary of $64,000, which is higher than most places in the state of Texas. I also get $6,500 from additional stipends. I am English as a second language certified, meaning I get an additional $1,000. I am a mentor teacher for a new teacher here at our school, so I get $1,500. I have my master's of education, which is an additional $1,000. I sponsor and run a club here, so I get $500 from that. And then I am coaching, and I get $2,500 for coaching. Coaching stipend, I think, should be higher based upon the amount of hours I put in. I also make $2,500 in bonuses, $500 for being a high performance teacher, and then $2,000 for my last year's AP pass rate. That was a singular check, bringing my grand total to $49,859.
So that was after him going through and taking out all the taxes he owes, and he's left with under $50,000. I mean, it's not the worst. It's about $4,100 a month take home, but when you start factoring rent or mortgages, that could be $2,000, $25,000, even $3,000, especially with how overpriced homes are in today's world. You're already on thin ice, not talking about utility bills or food, groceries. If you have a car payment and insurance, the gas bill, all that money could disappear very quickly while you're trying to deal with these awful kids.
I am a first-year high school English teacher. This is definitely going to be my first and last year teaching. I was made very quickly aware of the fact that this is not the profession for me. It is absolutely astonishing and scary how your kids are 14, 15 years old and still do not have the proper reading skills. And I'm not talking about the ESC kids, the 504s, the IEP kids. I'm talking about your everyday regular Joe Schmo from Kokomo kid who does not know how to read and write at the level that they should. And the problem is that they don't care to learn how to do those things correctly. I can't teach the class because your kid wants to be a disruption, because your kid wants to be on their phone, because your kid does not give a flying.
I think it's a combination of no child left behind and parents not raising their children. No common sense either. It's very scary. I had a parent tell me it was my job to figure out how to deal with her son's behavioral issues. All right then, we got another comment from you guys right here. I read a graded paper that had text speak and drawn on emojis. It was from a middle school paper. 13-year-olds can't write a complete sentence with appropriate punctuation. It's very worrying.
Teaching in the year 2025 is not the same career as it was teaching before the pandemic. And I think a lot of people just aren't talking about it because the people who were in it before the pandemic are the only ones who have seen how drastic of a change this is. And if you are somebody who's thinking about becoming a teacher, you are basing that sentiment and that feeling and that draw toward the profession based on your experience as a student. Your childhood memories, even up to high school, It's not the same environment. If you were in high school when the pandemic started, you still knew what it felt like to be in a real elementary school class, a real middle school class where there was projects and there was creativity and the curriculum wasn't scripted. And the change isn't entirely because of the pandemic, but the pandemic is a great marking place that divided this. It's the continental rift, right?
And I think a lot of people are starting to realize it. Like we saw with the comment before, though, I don't think that it's solely to blame, but it definitely would throw off some age groups having to learn at home for 2 years, not developing social skills and just staying inside all the time. And this was an international problem. We got a comment from you guys right here. I'm a private teacher in Croatia. Parents bring me kids who are 11 and don't know how to multiply to 100. They don't know the months of the year, they can't read normally or write a sentence. This problem is international. I know most of the clips that we go over on this channel are from the US, but it does happen everywhere.
A first grade little girl just slapped my third grade student, and when the line supervisors were disciplining her, she said, "Don't worry, my mom must come up here and take care of it." No wonder why teachers are quitting.
I worked in childcare and the parents were the worst. I had some good parents, but there were some that were awful. I had a kid lay across the desk and he said that I don't care what she says. I had another leave the class and went to Burger King. I mean, we could really keep going with these examples, but we'll finish off with this clip.
I know this might make me sound like a bad teacher, but I am so ready for the semester to end so I can call parents and tell them that their child is repeating the 9th grade. I've been contacting parents at least once a month, and to still have kids that are failing because they're not trying, I don't have any sympathy for them. I just don't. Not when I've seen parents respond, be supportive, and have children that are receptive to help. How can I feel bad about failing your child? And I had another student in the same circumstances stay after school, do their work, ask for help, and raise their grade 30 points to success. I'm so sorry, but I'm just so happy to fail them.
And then they're going to go to the school, the principal, and absolutely lose their mind. Like I said before, I never wanted to be a teacher in the first place. I do not have the patience, especially now, and I really can't blame the current teachers that decide to leave. But that's all I got for you guys today. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. YouTube thinks you'll like this video popping up on screen right now, but hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave a like, and I'll talk to you guys later.